This is Jason Aalon from a band called Let Live. You're listening to Morgan Richards interviews. Make sure to like and subscribe. There may be a button somewhere down here.
Hey, I'm Morgan Richards from Radio Cardiff, backstage at the Great Hall music venue here. I'm joined now by a band who have learned to love themselves with new romantic foreign cab rides. It's of course the beautiful Mr. Jason Butler of Let Live.
What's up, brother? How are you?
Not too bad, man. How's things?
Yeah, good. Just like I said, before you guys could hear this or see this, I was discussing how I've never been able to do anything more than just play a show in Cardiff or go to a chip shop or a mall. But yesterday I got to get dinner, see the winter wonderland that is the city center, observe all the lights. I've had a good time.
Yeah.
It's been good.
Oh, fantastic. So Jason, of course, the last few months I've seen you touring intensely now, supporting the release of your fourth studio record, If I'm the Devil.
Yeah.
After what seemed like a hell of a journey behind the scenes, spending almost 2 years trying to make this material happen, I'm sure it's just a phenomenal period now getting this out to people and showcasing a body of work that you're just all extremely proud of.
That's really it, man. It's just a matter of like us trying to figure out ourselves musically, personally, emotionally, intellectually, all the, whatever, everything you hear from most artists. The only difference here is that, we are quite scrutinous of ourselves, and then that extends into the music we make and then each other. So we put together a record that took a lot out of us. I've discussed it a few times before how arduous the process was, but we did it, and I think that there's something to be said there, and we're very, very happy to be out and together with the music we've created, and people actually still caring about it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
yeah.
good.
And with that quite hard process, would you say that you're all really closer as a band now than you've ever been?
I would say that we know each other better than we ever have. We know the our I guess idiosyncrasies, both for better or for worse. And with that we're able to navigate each other, I would say, more transparently, and we're just more obvious to each other, which I think is kind of necessary if you're going to make the proper calls on what you're going to do next with each other as a band. Yeah.
Okay. And with that, one thing I've always admired from Let Live is that your band always mixing things up with constant experimentation and really consider each piece of material as its own unique art form. When you're all in the writing process and trying to combine collective ideas, is it sometimes a struggle, but also quite rewarding how an initial part transforms to different versions and the final project between the four of you?
Yes, it is. Struggle is the proper word. It is a struggle. For all the same reasons as it's a struggle for us just to be able to feel satisfied with anything else in our lives. I think we're all quite critical, and I know that personally I become very exacting, and I need a lot from the music I make for whatever reason, whether that's just the way it makes me feel or the way the sonic reverberation sort of makes my ears tinge, or it's just a matter of figuring out what we all agree is a dope song, and that takes a long time. We don't have, it is certainly, it has to be, unanimous between us. It's a panel that we pass through. So with that, there, of course, there's always pros and cons, but I think in the end, it's the most fair way to do it if you're in a band that, I guess, all care about what you're putting out.
Yeah. Oh, of course. And If I'm the Devil seems to really experience a major progression to some of your earlier albums. You've always had so many layers musically with elements of aggression, rock and soul, but with a lot more new wave and dark hip-hop on this side too. Do you feel Let Live has this really freedom to go anywhere with so much coming to the table constantly?
That's all I ever want to, I guess, exhibit and demonstrate with Let Live, is just that to expect nothing. You can't, that you should never expect anything other than, I guess, some sort of evolution of what Let Live was prior. So hopefully when we do these things, it makes it very clear that we will continue to do things that may seem very left of field or obscure and eccentric, because I mean, if not that, then why do art? To me, that's just what I think. I think that we're here to convey the truth in a language that is endemic to us, and that we share with people with the same alternative thought, and also that we can share with people who don't necessarily think the same. I think that's the beauty, the transcendental property of assimilation with music. And so, yeah, man, I think that that's what we do, and that's what we'll continue to do. And I think that's all we can do. I think that's what Let Live is, at least as like a musical element. I think so, yeah.
Okay, well, fantastic. And Jason, just a couple more very quick things now before you go. Over the years, you've accomplished a real reputation for your live shows where things can get a bit crazy, never knowing just what happen or climb off.
Yeah.
You obviously take great pride in putting on a set, leaving your emotions and everything on stage. Is that just something really passionate to you, just to go out and be able to do that?
That's it, man. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've spent a lot of my life sort of in this cumbersome or restricted sense of my own self. The normalcy of being a member of society, or being a male, or being this or that. Like all these things, your surrounding environment tells you can't do. So many elements of myself that I felt trying to seep their way through the cracks, but if I let them out too much, then the sense of vulnerability will be my demise. That's it, in a very hyperbolic and pseudo-poetic way. So for me, just getting on stage is just a way to indulge the person that exists within me, the multiple people that exist within me that I can't always express in my everyday life. And sometimes that person is highly aggressive, sometimes that person is full of joy in a state of nirvana, sometimes that person is extremely pained by something, but ultimately it is a cathartic thing, and I'm if anything, I'm just appreciative and grateful that I get to do it. I think that's what it really comes down to, just making sure I do the best I can every single time I get to do it.
Yeah. Okay. And recently, you've really shown a great love of working with other people and artists, with yourself having countless features with different bands, and doing some of the renditions project recording as well. Could we really expect more of that, of maybe having more people joining on some of these songs in later editions as well?
Absolutely. I think collaboration is the cornerstone of real creativity. I mean, like, I can go around and we can go around and do things between the four of us, and I can go around and do things between myself, but I think that finding every piece of the larger puzzle, which is art, and trying to implement it or integrate it in what you do is a beautiful thing. And it also just helps me learn. It helps us learn what is possible in ways that we just aren't conditioned to think others are. So yeah, absolutely. I would love to. I know actually I'm going to go home personally. I'm going to go home and do a feature on another record that is very, seemingly different than what Let Live is, but to me, in essence, it's the same. It's a very, like, kind of, I guess, in your face and subversive type of music that I believe, at least. So I think the collaboration is one of my favorite things. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. And with all that now, of course, you're going to be extremely busy in the near future, just continuing to play shows and promote this new record. But what else can we really expect from Let Live now in the very near future?
Hopefully just continuing to try to find methods to represent the album in different fashions, not just sonically, but perhaps visually, maybe different types of literature, different facets of this record, trying to, again, find a way to present the record just in an alternative manner, not just listening to it on vinyl or MP3 or CD, like figure out creativity within creativity, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, well, fantastic. Well, that's about it. Cheers, Jason, for taking time out to have a quick chat with me.
Thanks about that.
Yeah, no worries. Best luck now with everything in the near future, and hoping catch up with you again very soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, man.